The Udaak. I just messed that up horribly. The Udaak. It is a gargantuan monster, which is insane when you think about how big these things really are when they hit gargantuan. Alright, our Udaak, it has an AC of 18 and a hit dice of 10d20 plus 22 constitution, 11 wisdom, and 10 charisma. And we should be seeing a 16 for its CR rating. Alright, looking down into its skills area, we have 2 saving throws, which isn't going to modify anything because our saving throws base is 0 to 2, so it gets no bonuses there. It's vulnerable to thunder, which is surprising. We don't see too many vulnerabilities, and the fact that it's also thunder is really shocking. No pun intended. Or maybe it was, I don't know. But we do have 1, 2, 3, 4 conditions for our damage immunity, so we will add that in for our Udaak. And that's only going to give us a 1.5 times multiplier, which is good because after bumping up to probably a CR 17, it would only get 1.25 times the modifier. Alright, and then we have conditions, senses, and languages, which we don't care about. But the Udaak does have charge. And if the Udaak moves at least 20 feet towards a target and then hits it with a slam attack on the same turn, the target takes an extra 27 points of bludgeoning damage and then is pushed or knocked prone or whatever. So we'll come over here into the trait section and add in the, 27 points of damage for charge. And that will be more or less applied to every round of combat. So right off the bat, charge, if your monster ever has it, is expected to be doing that every time. So if your Udaak is being swarmed by melee and there is a player out in the distance that can be charged, go charge it. Especially with these damage immunities, there's a good chance that it will not either take damage or it has enough hit points to survive that. I mean, we're already looking at effective 247 points of hit points. All right, next we will take a look at the, because I think we're done with the traits. Yeah, the only other trait would be Siege Monster. And that doesn't matter for terms of calculating the CR because it only deals double damage to structures. We'll move down into the actions of the Udaak. First off, we have a bite from the Udaak, which is going to deal 13 to hit and then 21 points of damage, and also grapples a target. So the bite will grapple, and we'll come back over here and add that into the monster traits for constrict, giving it an effective AC of 19 now. And then back over in the workspace, we also have Slam, which is going to be 21.5 points of damage because it's 3d8 and it's an odd number amount of dice for damage, and no other effects. And then we have a Swallow, and the Udaak makes 1 bite attack against a large creature or smaller in its grapple that it's grappling. And then we'll deal 21 points of acid damage. Alright, so we're going to put the Swallow damage into attack 3 since Swallow from the trait, as anyone watching this as a VOD will have seen that the damage wasn't working out quite the way we were expecting to. Alright, so Swallow, the acid damage from Swallow is going to be in attack number 3, and we will go into the multi-attack now. The multi-attack is going to be 1 bite and 2 slams. So we're going to add in the 1 bite plus 2 of the slams for a multi-attack total of 64 points of damage. Already looking pretty good. And then on top of that, it can swallow creatures. So a swallowed creature is blinded and restrained. It has total cover against attacks and other effects outside the Udaak. And then it doesn't look like it has any limit to the amount of creatures it can swallow, especially since it's gargantuan. So we can at least get 2 swallowed creatures in roughly the first couple rounds of combat, in theory. So because of that, we're going to have basically a repeat from the last monster with the Udaak. We're going to have our multi-attack here, and that's going to be for... Oops, let's not put those here in the legendary actions. Let's put those down into the rounds of combat. And we'll have 64 across the board here. And then on top of that, we're going to start adding in the swallow damage. So round 2 is when the Udaak will start dealing swallow damage from the acid. And we get to add in 1 round of acid damage. And then if the Udaak also swallows a second creature, we're going to start getting multiple amounts of swallow damage while it's also biting and slamming other creatures outside of its body. Alright, so let's add in 2 more points of acid damage for the first and second targets. And we're looking at a total of 85 points of damage. This is fascinating because we're looking at a CR 14 again, and there's nothing here that is really saying this is going to be lower. Let me take a look at the charge here. I think this needs to be fixed because they're expecting this to be done every round. So this is only being applied once for charge. So let's take this off here and add this in as attack number 4 and say that our Udaak is running around charging everything for 27 points of damage. So round 1, it's going to charge the furthest target and get in charge damage. And then it's going to charge something else far away and get even more damage in. And then on top of that, we will do this once more here. Well, now we're looking at a full attack of 112, but we're still at CR 14. So maybe I gotta look at the calculations in the back, but I'll do that at another time for the charge to see if that was being calculated incorrectly or not. Oh, I know what I'm missing. Silly me. The 2-hit. Oh, and its 2-hit is plus 13. There we go. Now that I have the 2-hit properly aligned to plus 13, our Udaak is a CR 16. And there you have it. That's how you break down and expose the monster's CR values. If you like what you've seen, hit the subscribe button down below and give the video a thumbs up. I post daily. And until next time, thanks for watching.